Good morning. Coming to you from bed because I randomly just decided that I would start vlogging this day and perhaps a few of the following days after this. Not because I have anything particularly exciting going on, but rather the opposite. To be honest, I'm unemployed right now. But more on that later. The reason I decided to film this unemployment segment of my life is because I feel like I try to show a lot of the different aspects of what it's like to be self employed and running your own photography business. And this is also part of the reality of that. To be honest, I do have one small project in the works that I'll be working on this week, but besides that, I don't really have anything going on in terms of work. I don't know what my next project will be beyond this smaller one for this week, but I'm going to go into details of everything that's going on and my plans of what to do in the meantime in just a little bit. But first, breakfast. Hi, coming to you from the kitchen. Is this too dark for you guys? I love keeping like a moody, cozy lighting, but I realize nowadays being the fall in Seattle, we generally have like no light. But first things first, before I make another mess in the kitchen, let's put away the dishes. Hi, so after breakfast, changed into something a little bit more work appropriate. Even though I'll likely be spending the day at home today, I still wanted to feel somewhat put together because it makes me a little bit more motivated sometimes. As I finish my morning coffee, I'll be putting together my to-do list for today since it now looks a little bit different from what I thought my work week would look like on from last Friday. The reasoning being that I had a really big project actually planned to work on for today and really most of the beginning part of this week, but my client completely just dropped the project really last minute due to personal reasons. And while it's hard to accept sometimes because it's so last minute and I was really kind of banking on that project for a decent portion of my income for this month, I also want to give my clients grace, especially if they're long-term returning clients and, if they're caught up in personal situations that are out of their control. The best I can do is just be understanding and support them. So with a slower week, I'm now thinking about focusing on more of the back end part of things. So that's things like updating my website and figuring out my website SEO so that it can gain more traffic and more people reaching out to me as opposed to the opposite. But I am also going to do that. I'm going to reach out to a lot of brands that I've been seeing on Instagram and social media and just reach out to see if they see a possibility in us working together. I'm also going to try to figure out my tax situation now that I'm in a new state. Something I've been thinking about in the back of my mind is there's been a lot of growth on this YouTube channel in just the past few weeks alone. And you guys are awesome because it's all thanks to you. You made this happen. But now that I have a little bit more leverage, so to speak, in terms of you guys being the followers and supporting this channel so much, I want to start reaching out to brands as well for YouTube collaboration or sponsorship opportunities. I don't intend on making all of my content moving forward like one big advertisement or one big sponsorship, but I kind of want to keep it similar to what I've been doing with a lot of my own photography work, working with smaller indie brands and really focusing on if this is truly a partnership and a product that I can really support. So, and if you're watching this and you have a small business and you think it would be a great opportunity for us to collaborate, yeah, please reach out. I would love to hear from you. Okay, I guess let's get to work. So looking back on that footage now, I have no idea why I gave myself like the biggest to-do list ever. I think sometimes when there's moments of a lot of uncertainty like this, I tend to try to overcompensate, and I'm just like, you need to be more busy than usual to make up for the fact that you have no work coming in. It's because you didn't do enough previously, and that's why you don't have work coming in right now. Sometimes I have like really mean inner thoughts like that I try to like beat myself down. I know in the back of my mind there is definitely a feeling of urgency to get the next few gigs booked. But I think also another bigger part of this whole time period is just like the mental aspect of it, like what's kind of going on through my mind, how I should try to find ways to be a little bit more kinder and patient with myself and not like freak out and be a bully to myself. And also just try to find moments where I can stay grounded and calm and not panic because I don't know where my next paycheck is going to come from. Well, that was a successful grocery shopping trip. I think I'm just glad I got to get out of the house in general. That's always nice to do because I know a lot of times when you kind of have nothing to do, at least for me, my default is just to stay at home for really long periods of time. And that's not always good for our energy, our mood, things like that. So even like little moments of stepping outside and doing something as simple as grocery shopping, which honestly is like one of my favorite pastimes, always helps a lot. I did finally sign another client today, so that's exciting, but it's for a new launch, like a super new brand. So whenever that happens, I'm always very grateful and honored to be the photographer that creates like the first look for this new product, this new brand. And I think I'm also going to step out again later today because I feel like this apartment is so bland and gray. I really want to get at least like one houseplant. I really miss having houseplants. For those of you who have been watching me since my New York vlogs, you would have noticed that my whole windowsill back in my New York City apartment was like covered in plants. And that just like looking at them just made me so happy, and it was so fulfilling to be able to take care of them and see them thrive. For the record, I do not kill any houseplants except for succulents. I have no succulent survivors under my care. But yeah, I think that'll really brighten up this place, especially now that we're in fall. We're moving towards like, I guess like endless gray days essentially. And I just feel like having some greenery inside would help brighten up the space a lot. Okay, time for coffee. The plants outside definitely caught my eye first. I was expecting these to be on sale, and I was kind of right. Not only were these on sale, this was actually the rescue plant section. Pothos are pretty easy to care for, so I thought I would have more luck with rescuing one of these. Plus, the new leaves seemed promising. Upon entering the shop, all I could see were rows upon rows of plants and beautiful greenery. Now this is what heaven on earth feels like to me. I also spotted a few plants I've had before, a few old friends. I've always loved having a snake plant. I know I'll get one eventually no matter what, but I was in the mood to try something different today. This entire store was actually super humid and warm throughout. I loved seeing their level of care using these humidifiers. I'm honestly a little bit overwhelmed with everything in here, but in a good way. The space and variety of plant offerings seem to extend in all directions forever. But I can't complain. I'm giving them 1 more minute. Okay, let me double check that they didn't respond to my email. They have not, so I am officially closing this meeting. How disappointing. It's so frustrating and such a waste of time. I don't understand why people are so flaky. Okay, I guess that's it. Good morning. It is now Thursday. I did not end up vlogging any more of yesterday because that whole call where the client basically stood me up was just really off-putting. Plus, nothing eventful really happened yesterday. But today is different because I'm finally starting to shoot again. So today I'm going to be working on a really quick, small shoot for a supplement brand that's very, very new on the market. So that's exciting. I'll show a little bit behind the scenes here and there in this vlog. So hope you enjoy. It's a little weird being back at work again. After a couple of slow weeks, I almost forgot what it felt like to be in motion, to have something to focus on, something to build toward. It's comforting in a way, but also a little unfamiliar, like I'm easing back into a rhythm I used to know by heart. The last few weeks were full of unexpected changes, plans shifting, projects falling through, and as much as I tell myself that this is part of the job, it still throws me off sometimes. The unpredictability, the waiting, wondering when the next shoot will come around. But then I get moments like this, a small shoot, simple setups, and suddenly I remember why I love doing this. Even the tiniest project feels like a fresh start. Because that's the thing about this kind of work, it always finds its way back to you. There's always another gig, another brand story to tell, another product to share with the world. You just have to keep showing up, even when it feels uncertain. Hi, popping back in here because a very exciting delivery just came in and I wanted to be able to share it with you guys in real time. Okay, you ready for it? I finally got chairs delivered. I have 2 of these, and yeah, I was holding off on getting a set of chairs for so long because first of all, I didn't know what kind of style I wanted, and second of all, I couldn't decide if I wanted like a desk chair, a dining chair, something that's in between a desk chair and kind of like a sofa type of chair. But I settled on something that was more or less, I guess, a dining chair, but it is very cushy with padding, and I like that it's covered in fabric because it gives it like a softer feel. This apartment is so cold and gray, and I just feel like having some warmth with the microfiber suede texture and the wood would help out a lot. And then more importantly, I wanted something that you could still fold up and be able to put away because I wanted my space to be as flexible as possible considering it's so small. This chair definitely gives it that flexibility. Hey, I'm so excited. I know sometimes sometimes you might get to the point where you kind of just hold off on necessary purchases like a chair. But I think in this case, I just really wanted to take my time to figure out what the space needed, what works the best for my needs, and I'm really glad I settled on this. And another feature that I love about these chairs is that all of these covers, they're fabric and they're also removable. So I can completely take them off and wash them. I really love the look of like light colored fabric furniture, but the thing is, the trade-off for me is that it has to be removable in order for me to clean it or keep it clean looking.